Welcome to the Think Factory podcast. We got one question for you. What keeps you up at night?
Welcome back to the Think Factory podcast, powered by OGC Solutions. I'm Chris Santomassimo, your host today, and I'm delighted to be with Erik Norman. Erik is the president of swissQprint America in Wisconsin. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Chris. Great to talk to you. It's always a pleasure. I know we see each other here and there across the industry. It's always fun to spend a little time with you.
Oh, for sure. Thank you so much. And I've been to your showroom and your demo center in Wisconsin. Super impressive. I've always wanted to get you on the podcast. It's been a couple of years since we've been trying to do this, so I'm glad we finally got something on the calendar. In particular, because I've seen a lot of new releases, a lot of good publicity around the line of products that swissQprint has. So I'd thought it'd be a great time to just talk about some of those releases, some of the new things that have already hit the market, and then one thing I think would be great to hear about after we hear about some of those products is, what the philosophy or the approach of swissQprint really as a solutions provider, and how you help clients and customers pick the right products for what they do. So take it away. Let's hear about some of the good stuff on the horizon.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you very much for that. Well, 2025 has been an exciting year for swissQprint and probably most people in the industry for a variety of reasons. In our case, the excitement really started because we launched our Generation 5 platform of printers. And what that entails is a Nyala 5 printer, an Impala 5 printer. We went from Generation 4 to Generation 5, and our Kudu, which has not changed generations, but it has had some upgrades to it as part of this broader Generation 5 launch. So what does Generation 5 mean to us and to the market? In short, it means a higher return on investment because we're delivering now even higher productivity through faster speed, some additional option capabilities for printing oversized boards or managing, full bleed type prints without having to clean a table afterwards, and an increase in precision, even at our highest speed capabilities. We did that through the introduction of linear drive systems. We've really beefed up the chassis and the carriage and some of the firmware around the system so that we, like we typically do, can deliver the greatest combination of high output and productivity with precision and the reliability that we're renowned for in the marketplace. So our Nyala saw a 23% input or output speed increase. The Impala saw a 25% speed increase, and the Kudu received a 14% speed increase. So we have a very productive range of devices with 10 color channel options. So your ability to do very wide color gamut production, some great specialty embellishment options if you want it, incredible white performance at speeds and great white opacity, or even wonderful varnish capabilities and neon inks are capable now across 10 color channels. And so we've seen a wonderful response from the marketplace to those machines. And of course, superimposed upon that has been, the joys of this year's challenge, the speed bump of economic uncertainty. But I would say, printers are a resilient group of people, and they continue to make capital investment choices. And we've been very excited that we have a wonderful range of products to offer them that truly can help set them apart in their respective marketplace.
Some of those speed increases that you talk about, or productivity increases, was that coming from your customers to say we want more, or is that really just the natural evolution of the products?
It's both. We always hear from clients we want more, and I think that's going to be the general response from most clients, is they're always going to want more of something. And we We think that having a higher productivity is always a good thing. Obviously, especially when that productivity increase comes at a very nominal or no price change. That's the best equation.
Right.
And we accomplished that with the this latest generation. So yes, clients have been asking for increased output capabilities in general terms, and because we're continually looking to push the boundaries of what you can do with both our flatbed and roll-to-roll devices, we felt this was just the natural next evolution for swissQprint to continue to set us apart from others in our class.
And the reliability, which you mentioned up front, really is probably one of the biggest focuses from the clients that we talk to, because every hour of downtime cuts into that productivity, and it's frustrating for customers when they're down. Service has got to be part of that solution as well, I'm sure.
100%. Reliability is, and I always like to talk about productivity instead of speeds, because speeds by itself really don't matter. You can be really fast, but down, you're not very productive.
Right.
If you are fast enough and very fast, and your uptime is very high, now you're exceptionally productive. So our reliability, you see it in a few ways. One is the machine, just its mean time between failure is incredibly long. I mean, in the United States and Canada, our average mean time between failure is a little more than 24 months, which is remarkable. It's one of the reasons why we have a 36-month warranty on all new products that get sold. In addition to the fantastic uptime, it's things like and being in an always ready print state, how we manage the inks, and so that the print heads are ready to fire, so that when you're end your one day and you wait overnight because you don't have a third shift, you come in the next morning, it's ready to go. You might have a 3-minute maintenance routine and the printer is in a print ready state. So it's also the ability to maximize the hours within your shift times without having to worry about time spent purging, time spent cleaning, time spent color calibrating, or all the other myriad of things that happen from time to time. And interestingly enough, I was talking yesterday with a printer in Wisconsin, and I said, over the years, what's been your favorite feature of your swissQprint printers? And he's had an Impala, he's now on a Nyala 4. His answer was pretty simple. He said, it's your resume print after crash feature, which is a capability of us to, if the crash bar gets sensed because you've got coroplast with the corner tipped up or whatever the case may be, you don't have to lose that material. And he said, since we've installed our Impala, which is now, and I probably will not have this exactly correct, but let's say it was 6 years ago when they first installed their first swissQprint Impala. We've probably lost a grand total of 10 boards over that 6 years. I said, we never experienced that prior. And so I look at that as that's part of reliability, is not just the equipment side, but that equipment allowing you to have very minimal material loss. And all printers know, your material loss, that shrinkage cost can add up quickly over time, especially if you're on high value materials like acrylic.
For sure. Yeah, and when you talk about productivity, as you say, it goes beyond uptime. It's got to be efficiency. Yeah. It's got to be lower waste. And then it's also got some sort of trickle down effect into improved sustainability, if that's a focus for one of your customers as well.
Yeah. Yeah, improved sustainability, which primarily for us, again, things like lack of waste, so high efficiency, but the energy consumption. I think it's safe to say we have the lowest energy consumption of printers in our class at a little over 2 kilowatts an hour rate. And for most U.S. customers, we're not overly conscientious about our energy costs, but that is an area of sensitivity. And I think companies that are, let's say, part of the SGP, or they're working with clients who value sustainability like we do, maximizing your energy resources is very important to us, and it's important to those clients. And I would also add in there, just, operators, do they love to work on the devices that they're going in to work with every day? And is that device going to help them achieve and be successful and drive output to the highest of their capability? Or are they going to be fighting the printer all day long? And pretty consistently, we hear feedback from our clients that say this is the favorite device their operators have to work on. And we love that. That makes us more proud than anything. When an operator says, I love working on your printer, that tickles us.
Oh, I bet it does. But it also feeds into the concern that many of the folks have in the industry about workforce and the availability of it. And if you can keep people happy and more productive, that's fewer people that you need. It's less turnover. I mean, you see how that really starts to snowball in a positive way and just improve the bottom line.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. I know you mentioned embellishment too. Has that been a focus for swissQprint over the last couple of years?
It's always been a focus of swissQprint. In fact, I think sometimes so much so that people mistakenly look at us as a specialty printer only. And people like our friends at Infinity Images and others, and really every user would tell you, yes, we do that specialty work and embellishments exceptionally well, and we do the high productivity work exceptionally well, which is why we see both high-end artists with high degree of embellishments as well as print for trade shops with high volume relying on our devices. It's both and. But on the embellishment side of things, we launched this year what I particularly find a fun new technique. We call it pyramid printing. And so effectively, this is giving you the ability to, depending on the angle at which you're looking at the printed output, you see a different color. So you can change colors. So we actually have two techniques. One's called pyramid printing, one's called chameleon printing. And we do have some white papers available online that people can look at, and our application teams are more than happy to show people how to do it. But effectively, we're building up texture layers in a pyramid shape. And as you know, a pyramid has four corners or four edges to it. Right. And then putting a different color on those edges as you print. So it requires high degree of precision to do this well. And it's a technique that we think will be wonderful for retail applications, maybe even some home decor, corporate decor applications as an embellishment technique. In addition to that, our varnish embellishments through drop gloss, our Droptix capability, which is this lenticular effect, 3D lenticular effect that we can produce, as well as incredible textured print. We see more and more people using embellishments because embellishments adds value. Embellishments help the human connection with print. It's amazing. Anytime we put something that has haptics on it at a trade show, the first thing people do is they touch it. And once you touch it, you've connected with that piece. And any printer will tell you the beauty of print in general, it makes a human connection. It engages, when done right, it can engage all your senses, and embellishment is fantastic for that. So we love the fact that we can do embellishments really, really well, but it's not the only thing we do. It's a small part of what we do, but I will tell you, when people use it right, they make a lot of money on high value prints.
For sure. Yeah. And, when you're talking about that tactile sensation as being part of the experience, because that's what you're trying to create as an experience, it really just, it brings it to a different level, a good level. And I think it also suggests more brand value for whatever's inside the box or whatever's behind the display.
Yeah, I think that's 100% true. I mean, brands that have done things well, people are connecting with them on an experiential and an even emotional level, right? And I think print can help aid that for PSPs or design agencies to make that connection. And I really think embellishments are a great way for print service providers to deliver that to their client base.
For sure. And just like swissQprint wants to provide, an end-to-end solution for their customers with the product and the service and the supplies. Same thing with the PSPs. They're trying to provide that experiential solution for their customers as well. What are some of the other aspects of what swissQprint does that creates that end-to-end solution?
I think if you look at what I would call sort of our ecosystem, swissQprint America, and we service the U.S. and Canadian markets, and really what I'm going to share would be true of broader swissQprint, because I think organizations become the long shadow of their leadership cultures, and ours is exceptionally good in my opinion. Obviously, I'm biased, but I do think
a little bit, but you're speaking
for
the
sure.
truth.
But I think the ecosystem that we have here at swissQprint America is truly one where we want that client at the core, and we really want to serve them very, very well. And serving them well means make access to our team very easy. Let's keep the organization as flat as possible so that decision making can be fast. Let's solve problems first, and then if there's any commercial implications of that, take care of those later. If somebody truly is stuck on a situation, do whatever we can, pull the resources we need to pull together to get them unstuck so that they can get back to doing what they need to do and generate profit. That drives everything that we do from a support standpoint and post-sale standpoint. Pre-sale standpoint, what of course we want to do is really understand the business model of the client we're trying to serve and make an assessment of, can we actually be the best option for them? And depending on that business model and what they're trying to achieve, we may or may not be the best option. And if we're not the best option, we're more than happy to help them recognize that and allow them to put in the right tool to achieve the objectives that they have. And so when a printer tells us that their business model really is around, I would say doing a variety of substrates, or they're doing a combination of both very short quick turn work, as well as maybe long run volume. They want the ability to do general signage, all the way up to, higher value prints. They need, precision. They don't want to spend a lot. They don't want their service tech to be the employee of the month for them. When we start hearing things like that align with the values that we have and that our equipment delivers, then I think it's a great fit. If we are talking to somebody and they're looking to do really just high volume of just one thing over and over again, we may be a good fit, or we may not be the right fit in that case, and that's okay. I think the best thing for printers is choose the tools that help them achieve their objective, and our job is to assess where we actually can help them achieve what they want to realize.
Yeah, there's nothing better than being sort of even though you're biased, as you say, with quotation marks around it. What you want to be is the trusted advisor at the end of the day. And if today is not the right day to sell your equipment, maybe tomorrow will be. But
yeah,
hopefully that owner is going to appreciate the frankness of what you told them.
Right. And if we're talking with somebody, and they could look at an Oryx model, which is our entry level platform, or they could go to a Kudu fully loaded. You have a very wide price range in that. And one of the nice options that we have is that all of our devices are really custom configurable. They're built to order, and you don't, even though they have 10 color channel options, you don't have to load them up with 10 options. You could do a pure CMYK machine. You could do 1 row or 2 rows or 3 rows. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to move into a swissQprint device and you're concerned about cost of capital, or how your business is going to grow over time, you could enter at one point and then grow with us over time. And we don't obsolete products. We have 33 printers in the United States that are more than 12 years old today. We have a handful that are over 15 years old today. They still get active software updates, so they're running contemporary operating systems. There's certain mechanical things that they're 15 years old and they're slower and they can't upgrade. But, one of our challenges, quite honestly, is people love them so much, they don't want to trade them in. And as a result, we have a very shallow refurbished machine market opportunity. But that's a good thing because it highlights our values. And for those printers, it means they've had a tremendous return on investment. And we support those with the equal level of priority as we support the newest equipment that's in the field. So and those stories and examples really communicate our ability to start at one level and then grow with us over time. We're there to support you over the duration. Our objective is not that we're going to flip you into a new device every 2, 3, 5 years. Our objective is deliver the right platform for you, and hopefully your business grows and you add to the platform, don't replace the platform. And that's typically been the pattern where we've seen growth. People go from one device to 2 devices, and we have clients that have 6+ devices now, and we love it. I mean, I'd love to do more trade-ins. So if anybody wants to trade in, talk to us. But at the same token, I would tell you, I applaud you for still loving that well maintained and long life printer.
Yeah, for sure. And having that longer runway to prove out the ROI is really helpful too. I mean, it's a major investment for any of these companies, small or large. So having that long runway to continue to run the equipment successfully, it just capitalizes on that ROI.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. That's a great story.
At the end of the day, it's all about money. How do I make more money with the things that I have and the things I'm going to invest in?
Right.
And that's what we're trying to solve for. Lots of different ways that that looks, but at the core, let's help people make more money.
Yeah, but I like the approach, Erik, in terms of looking through the eyes of the customer first and understanding, what's the business objective that we're trying to get to, and then the tools, or the right tools, and the selection of those tools really flows from that, right?
That's right. Well, I mean, producing print is not easy, and that device, it's going to make money or lose money for you. It's your factory amongst the other things you have on your floor, and producing print is always a little bit done in a state of paranoia because there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and you are typically working under a very compressed timeline. With very high output expectations for most clients. Certainly, sort of high value brand clients, they have very high expectations. And so it's, you don't want to worry about your print because you got to worry about your finishing, you got to worry about your labor pool, you got to worry about the pre-press. Am I going to get the files? Are going to be the files right? Are they, properly configured, properly layered? Are they, you probably wouldn't be shocked, but there's a lot of junk that comes into the front end of pretty much every print service provider. And they're having to undo that junk with their clients, get it right in timelines that don't move. Now it's got to flow through the shop, lots of steps in the process. The last thing you want to worry about is that device that's putting ink on the substrate. You just want to know that it's consistently going to be there, and you can take that bit of worry out of the process, which is why, recently this will be out in a video that we launched pretty soon. We did a case study with a client of ours out in Portland, Oregon, and their production leader made a comment toward the end of the video that I caught the second time I listened to it, and I went, wow, that's actually, the statement sums it up. And all he said was, this device just takes a load off my shoulders. I thought, That's it. Takes a load off the shoulders. If you can take a load off of a production team's shoulders, you're doing your job.
For sure. Yeah, just one less thing to worry about, right?
Exactly.
It's just going to be a stalwart. It's going to work every time. That's ultimately what you want, for sure.
Yeah. And I guess at the end of the day, if you're probably the philosophy wise, I don't know, that's kind of when we're serving clients right, we're taking a load off their shoulders. I mean, that really is what it boils down to.
Well, that's a great way to end the segment. I don't think we could have planned that any better. Maybe we should have started with that, because that's a fantastic theme for what you're doing, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're trying. I mean, that's always the goal, and yeah, we keep at it, and we're having fun. We've got a fantastic team, and we've got a facility in Elgin, Illinois, and Irvine, California, for people to kick the tires with, and yeah, we're just having a good time serving our clients.
Well, I always sense that energy from you. That's why I think maybe I was drawn to have a conversation with you. So for sure, you always seem like the guy who's happy to be there and proud of the team. At the end of the day, that's what you need to provide a good solution.
Absolutely. And yeah. I love this. I mean, this industry is fantastic. The people in it are fantastic. And I think part of that is just, it's collectively, we're all, at the end of the day, let's roll up our sleeves, get after it, figure out solutions, and make things happen. And that's just fun to be a part of that. That energy of the industry is what, really, really fuels a lot of us.
For sure. Well, thank you for being such a great guest and talking about the products and the company that you're so proud of. Would you just tell people where they can see, the swissQprint product line, maybe at some of the upcoming shows?
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Thank you. Well, if anybody's coming to the wide format summit in July, we'll be there. We won't have equipment there, but you can rub elbows with a few of us. And then the next show will be Printing United down in Orlando in October, and we will have our Kudu on the stand, and we will have our Caribou, which is our dedicated roll-to-roll device, on the stand, and we'll be showcasing all sorts of fun applications that people can produce with the devices, and we will be putting those printers through their paces 8 hours a day on the show floor.
Excellent. Well, terrific, Erik. Again, thank you so much for being a great guest. For those that maybe joined in the middle of the podcast, this has been Erik Norman, who's the president for swissQprint America. Again, thanks for a great discussion. And this has been Chris Santomassimo from the Think Factory podcast. We'll see you next time.